Okay, good morning, Emma.
Good morning, Nick. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Very good. Very good. Yeah, I'm glad it's Friday.
Good. So first things first, thanks for your time and for sharing your experience about coaching. I'm gonna leave it to you. Introduce yourself and the floor is yours.
Sure. My name is Emma Whitten, and I run a garden design and landscaping business. I started as a garden designer, and then about 4 years ago, I set up a building company to build the gardens that we were designing. And secretly, I prefer the second thing to the first.
Why do you prefer cycle to evening?
That's an interesting question. I all my life I have been drawing. I've always wanted to draw things, and I've enjoyed drawing people, places, landscapes. Um, and when I started training as a garden designer, I was absolutely seduced by the whole process, and it felt like I'd arrived at the job that I always wanted to do. It felt because I did it fairly late in life, and I thought, oh, this is great, I've landed. But when the pandemic hit, we were sort of forced to start building the gardens as well because we couldn't get other people to do that work because they were so busy. And quickly I realized that as much as I love drawing, I also like actually making things. So I love both, but there's a freshness and a kind of an energy that you get when you're on a site building things with other people that you don't get when you're sitting in your studio drawing alone. Yeah.
Let's put in the drawings into reality.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
specifically, from a designer point of view and a builder point of view, how did you decide to, meet an emotional intelligence coach?
I had been running the business for about 6 years. I'd been doing the landscaping for about two or three. And I'd got to a point where I felt I wasn't, I was falling into traps. I was falling into repeated patterns of negative thinking. And I was getting anxious about things that I felt I shouldn't be anxious about anymore. And I realized that I'm self-taught really. The design course I did academically, but the building work we were essentially teaching ourselves on site every day. And I got a bit stuck. I got stuck not with the work and the projects. That was fine. We were doing good work. We were getting better. We were improving our skills. But I got stuck from a leadership perspective. I was uncertain about how we should be moving forward. I was uncertain about what I should be doing next. Should I be just focused on sales, or should I be more focused on bringing my team up and training people? What kinds of projects should we be going for? Was I hitting the right targets, or was I missing a trick? And truthfully, I was starting to get quite lonely, and it was beginning to feel like a burden. That the aloneness of being the boss was starting to kind of drag me down. So physically, on a day-to-day basis, we were doing exactly the same things that we had been doing, and it was fine. Probably from the outside, you wouldn't have noticed, but inside, I was starting to feel quite low. And so I got to a point where I thought I need some outside um, guidance, a point of view that wasn't mine. Um, and I was talking to a friend, and he said, you know, I was in exactly the same position as you are now, and I went to see a coach, and it really changed my life, changed my outlook, changed everything. So that was the catalyst. Yeah.
Okay, I really appreciate it, and thanks for your, I mean, openness of sharing. Is something that I believe a lot of entrepreneurs go through. Self-doubting, it can be beneficial because it means that you are into a transition, and when you are moving to the next level of or scenario, means that you are growing. Of course, with growth becomes questions and uncertainties, and I mean, good with you had the openness to speak with another entrepreneur that, as we are saying, Michelle, yeah, I was in that position too, and that's how we got to meet each other.
It was almost a relief to, we only went for lunch, and we had no intention of speaking. I had no intention of speaking about any of this, really. We were just having a catch up, but it came out, and it was obvious to him that I had been pressing it down, and then it kind of all came out in a big tumble. So it was, that was the moment. Yeah.
Good, thank you, Emma. I would ask, do you, or did you feel that what we did together in terms of content shared and how we structured the coaching was specifically tailored around your needs?
Very much so. Very much so. And I remember the first Zoom call that we had, you were very careful to explore the area around my needs. You didn't go straight into anything. You asked a lot of contextual questions and a lot of general questions about all sorts of things, not just the business, but about, you know, life and more personal things. And even that first call really helped me to see how much of an island I felt I was becoming. And I finished that first call with you, where we were just chatting, and I thought, yeah, this is definitely something I need. And when we started the actual sessions proper, it was very, you said to me that we can go in any direction. And you were very clear about the fact that we could take a number of approaches. And in the end, I suggested, or I agreed with you, that a holistic approach would be the best for me. And that's what we did, and that's what you framed. And it was definitely the right call. Yeah, and I did feel that every session was a follow-on from the previous, but we were exploring different avenues, and all of these things were affecting my state of mind and my ability to operate. So yes, it was tailored, very much so.
Would you point out something specific that you found more beneficial? I mean, in the whole project or program. By the way, how long it lasted? It was 3-4 months maybe?
It was, I think it was 4 months. It was 4 months, and it was generally pretty much every week or every fortnight. So it was nice because it was spaced out but regular. And I remember being surprised too that I was looking forward to the sessions. I hadn't anticipated that. I thought I might find them difficult, or, you know, oh, I'm going to be too busy, so this is going to be difficult. But I actually was looking forward to every session because I knew that I knew we were making progress, and that I was starting to improve and feel better. Yeah, specifically, I remember one of the first tools you gave me was to think of myself as my owner. You use the pets example, and which, first of all, it made me laugh, and then I thought about it and quickly realized that that was a very valuable tool. And I think after that very first session that we had, I started to practice that in the following week, and think of myself as two entities, really. Me on the ground, struggling, wondering what the right thing to do was, where should I put my energy, and then another entity, which was my carer, my owner, looking down and saying, okay, it would be really good if Emma had a 2-hour break now, or what Emma really needs to do is switch off, leave all of this, and come back tomorrow morning when she's fresh and she's had some sleep. Or, yeah, Emma just needs to go and see some friends. So that was one of the first tools that you gave me, and it was incredibly useful.
I remember it, and I appreciate your point. Sometimes we use the analogy of having a pet, but that pet is ourselves, because we do really care about them. We gave everything to them, but we forgot ourselves sometimes.
Yes.
So using the analogy is like, what did you eat? Did you eat enough? Did you sleep enough? So we can, in a certain way, take care and love ourselves under a different perspective. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I hadn't realized until I started using it, I hadn't realized how much I had been neglecting my own needs.
Mm-hmm.
And doing wrong things.
Would you ever regret having a pet at home? I don't think so.
Yeah, precisely. To be able to see yourself as someone that needed to be looked after was an eye-opener. I'd never considered it in that way before.
Yeah, we developed now technically self-care specific.
Exactly that. Yeah. Self-care.
How long ago it was? Like 2 years ago?
Was it as long as that? Might well be 2 years ago, yeah, or 18 months. I remember we were sitting outside. It was chilly, and then it got sunnier. Maybe it was 2 years ago, yeah. Gosh.